Hello everybody and welcome to Real Madrid Hub. I am your host Eric Rivera and this is your spot for all things Real Madrid news on YouTube. So I wanted to bring some positive news because, we've been reporting a lot of, negative and sad news that's been surrounding Real Madrid and all the drama that's been going on. So one of the pieces of news that I wanted to talk about was surrounding David Alaba coming to Real Madrid from Bayern, essentially as a free transfer. And, he's been linked for some time with this move, but nothing has obviously solidified yet. So an article that came out in MARCA by Alberto Rubio and Miguel Angel Lara was discussing that apparently Alaba has already made a deal with Madrid, or there was already a closed deal, essentially a done deal between the club and the player himself, where the player would sign on for 4 seasons, and because essentially his contract is ending on June 2021 with Bayern. Bayern has said as much that they understand why Alaba would be interested in coming to Real Madrid, but up until now we don't know for sure what is happening with this deal, and it's all been kind of up in the air. It's all been kind of a lot of information and conflicting reports. So the article goes on to explain that Alaba would be essentially the reason why I think he's so interesting would be that he can solve, and the article talks about it, that he can solve 3 problems for Real Madrid because he is a center back, but he has played in the past as a left back. That's how he initially started at Bayern. And then he's also played as a center defensive midfielder, which is a position that we do not have aside from Casemiro. So it would be interesting because he could solve 3 different situations there. Now, we also heard that Varane could possibly be leaving. It has said that he wants to leave. And as my good friend Jota has reported, he has offers from PSG. He has offers from Manchester United. And transfer market says that his market value is about 77 million, but the prices have, dropped a little bit due to the entire coronavirus situation. So Real Madrid is, I think what has been said is he's willing to let him go for about 50 million euros. And if he does leave, then Alaba would be a good prospect to bring on board because he solves, aside from being the center back position, solves a bunch of other issues. That is, of course, if Sergio Ramos decides to stay, I think it would be great to have somebody alongside him like Alaba, and then have Militao as well as a backup. And then at left back, you essentially would have Mendy, Alaba, and the other news that we're hearing too is that Reguilón is interested in coming back. So if he does come back, then that would be a situation where we would have Mendy, Reguilón, and Alaba in that position, being able to play those positions. So I think it's a lot. I feel like a lot of people are not feeling good about that idea of David Alaba coming, but I think he's a proven player. Obviously he's played for what is a top-notch Bayern, a Bayern that has won the treble last year, the Champions League, their league title, and the DFB Pokal. He's been a solid player and consistent throughout his career at Bayern. So I think, you're getting a tried and true player as opposed to, somebody who has a lot of potential but might not live up to it, which is something that we've suffered here at Madrid as of late, where youth players are brought in and they're not really living up to the hype. So that's all good. But then there's a conflicting report that came out just now from Diaro AS. And it comes from Jose Carlos Menzel, who is basically discussing an article from Sport BILD in Germany that is saying that Real Madrid is essentially losing their whole position in the fight for Alaba, considering that Alaba's agents and his group of agents and the people around him have said that he would be interested, that he could possibly, substitute the Real Madrid deal that he has right now if he gets a better offer from England. And that Barcelona is also interested in getting into the mix as well, although I don't know how they would do that given their financial situation. So who knows what to believe, because Marca is saying, that the deal is pretty much done at this point. And Diaro AS is saying that, Real Madrid might lose out on David Alaba. So who to believe? And as always, this is how the media works. This is the information that goes on back and forth in Spain and with these big teams and with transfers, that you really can't ever know what's going to happen until the player is essentially, the contract has been signed, the player is on the field and he's playing with a jersey with a number on his back for Real Madrid. We wouldn't know if he really did sign or not. What are your thoughts on the signing of David Alaba? Do you agree with it? Do you not? I see some people are not interested in bringing him on. I, for one, do think he would be an interesting add if he does lower his wage demands. And, the fact that he's coming on a free is good. So what do you think? Just let me know in the comments. You can also let me know, obviously, on my Twitter, which is is related to my podcast. Everything is at Y Nada Más Podcast. Also, check out my podcast, Y Nada Más Podcast, on Apple Podcasts, Google, and everywhere your podcasting content is found. And also make sure to subscribe to Real Madrid Hub, which is in conjunction with my good friend J Real Madrid, who has 2 channels in Spanish, J Real Madrid and Dr. J, providing you the best news of Real Madrid in Spanish. So thank you very much for listening, and we'll talk again soon.